Hello, my friends. Look at that, Mother Nature at her best. Puzzle was my passion. The puzzle was my passion. And look what Mother Nature gave me today on my walk here with Laura. A little puzzle. Isn't that beautiful? Coming together and leading the way into my story that I'm about to share with you now, where puzzle, being my passion, is a big part of. And you will soon know why and hear the rest of the story. It is said that the relationships we have with people influence our emotional state and are closely related to how satisfied, happy, and secure we feel. Often, however, due to our social environment, upbringing, and habit, we forget our relationship with ourselves. Hello, I'm Sabine, and today I live in an honest relationship with myself. Not always pretty, but honest, and that feels so good after having lived a life for a very long time. In my childhood and as a teenager, I had several drastic experiences, out of which I decided to go into self-isolation. I was born in 1967. I'm the oldest of three siblings. Our parents had a prosperous business, and there was always a lot to do. I was praised, which I confused back then with being loved. And I was praised when I kept myself busy, so to puzzle became my passion. I remember that I also withdrew because in the 80s, I lost independently from each other several people with whom I had just built a close relationship. Came closer in relationship with both of my grandfathers, my uncle, and my boyfriend. Lost them within a very short time through sudden death. I didn't know how to process my grief, and so made up a story believing that anyone coming in close contact with me, getting into a relationship with me, will die. I didn't want to be a burden to anyone with my story and my grief, because I had gotten used to keeping to myself, because this I often got praised for and which I confused with being loved. Over time, I stopped expressing my opinions clearly and open and honestly. I stopped venting when I was dissatisfied because I was afraid to offend people and be punished with withdrawal from their love. At least that's how it felt to me as a teenager. I accepted this conditionality because I didn't know any better. That and more led to the fact that I did everything possible to not be noticed, which is hard at 6 foot tall and beautiful. I wanted to be loved. I wanted to please. I wanted to keep peace, and so quietly swallowed, ate up any disagreement, unfairness, anger, injustice, because I feared to express openly and honestly how I feel. Accidentally, well, there are no accidents, I read about bulimia in a woman's magazine. I quickly made use of this eating disorder as an outlet, and it enabled myself to keep the everything is fine appearance to the outside world. Deep within, however, I became sadder, lonelier, and very angry with myself. Angry that I didn't speak up, angry that I didn't stand my ground, angry that I was so afraid not to be loved. Today, I understand that this was a mechanism to protect myself from greater pain. At the time, however, I felt like being a coward, too cowardly to tell my truth, and for that, I started to hate myself. In my early 20s, I decided to get help. I decided for an inpatient therapy in a psychiatric division of Würzburg Hospital. This turned into 4 months of successful therapy and overcoming bulimia. Yes, I did. Yes, I have. Nevertheless, I had to continuously work on myself for a long time to strengthen my ability to honestly express my feelings and thoughts instead of escaping into eating, swallowing, and vomiting. My eating habits got better, but still, I didn't want to accept my difficult relationship with myself. For a long time, I did not dare to honestly communicate my needs. My social contacts became less and less, and I lived and loved the work I did back then. That led to me becoming a human doing, a functioning being, all business, controlled, cold hearted, very serious, and hard on myself, instead of allowing myself to live, to love, and to enjoy my life. The human being in me seemed to have died. Romantic relationships regularly broke because I was broken myself. Professionally, I was successful, but I couldn't enjoy my successes because the feeling of not being enough prevailed. I pushed myself further and further, even immigrating to Canada, obtaining dual citizenship, opening and operating, building my own successful business in a new country. I didn't celebrate or appreciate. Instead, I hurried straight to the next project and the next and the next. Today, I know that this was also a protective mechanism so that I didn't have to deal with myself, with the pain and sorrow I held deeply buried within. I lived alone for many years. Only when my dog Laura came into my life in 2008 and showered me with her unconditional dog love, the floodgates opened. I remember tears running down my face, crying a river for probably the first time in decades. I was like, it was like a cleansing, releasing of the self imposed control shackles. It felt so liberating to feel that there was still honest and real life in me. And I wanted to live this life again. I wanted to be healthy and happy, be in honest relationship with my fellow human beings and with myself. But I had to admit that I no longer knew how to do that. My longing for being happy and healthy, for inner and outer balance in my life became so big that I decided in 2011 to leave my familiar work environment and good income behind. I chose to set out into the unknown because my why was bigger than my fear of not knowing how to be in an honest relationship with my true self again. Or, in other words, to find the missing pieces of my puzzle. Through various workshops and personal development experiences, I slowly came closer to the real me. It was like putting down layer upon layer of the thick armor of protection I created around my heart. I remember the first time being able to stand in front of a mirror, looking deeply into my own eyes, saying, I love myself. And that it felt so good, honest, and warm. I gained more and more trust and confidence in myself. I became one with the person, with the Sabine I have missed for so long. Became one with the person I honestly am. I am grateful for accepting, respecting, loving, and appreciating myself for who I am today. This is also reflected in my relationships. They are more authentic and more intimate. Energy vampires show up in my life less frequently, and if they do, they leave faster. Back then, I decided in a moment that I wanted to live healthy and happy. But courageously daring to step out of my comfort zone, my isolation, and walking this path requires a lot of patience with myself. Someone once said, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but when you decide you want to learn, it is never too late. It just might take a little longer. I still sometimes catch myself trying to hide in my work in uncomfortable situations. But today, ironically, due to implementing my own energy trainings that I teach, there is no more hiding. I am at peace with myself. I am in relationship with myself. I am my true self. I connected the pieces to my puzzle. Personal development and working with the body's own energy have become my passion. Holding my vision of a healthy, mindful way of living together in peace and harmony, I am working since 2015 as a certified health coach and brain education and yoga instructor, sharing with you with conviction and joy my transformational experiences, my energy, and the simple yet profound energy exercises in my energy yoga von Herzen, in my individual one-on-one health coaching sessions, energy retreats, workshops, and speaking engagements from the heart. And now, you know the rest of the story. From the heart, Sabine.